Thank you for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. I'm very honored to be here. Besides the important people and contributing to this important event, as I believe that it's important to share information amongst each other in order to improve and develop our, our daily work. Just press. Next. No? Okay. I've just been asked to remind you all to ask questions about my presentation. I will only answer those easy questions, and the difficult question we will do it one-on-one. Great. I have practiced my presentation as well in Dutch as in English, but I think I will mix it up throughout the presentation. So the title of my presentation is Collaborative GIS Data for Monitoring and Reporting, and ITMO trading. ITMO stands for International Transferable Mitigation Outcomes. Lately, that's a term that is used quite often. It's also known as carbon credits or RED Plus results. Why collaborative? As we advocate and emphasize that it is important to have the engagement with relevant stakeholders in order to produce national data that can be used for different purposes. So in this, we are not doing the work by ourselves within SBB, but we also try to engage with national stakeholders to have the national data in place for reporting and monitoring. A little bit about the National Forest Monitoring System. Most of you already know this picture, but for those that isn't, know this picture, I will try to elaborate briefly on the different components of the NFMS. So starting from the component SWIS, we have the Sustainable Forestry Information System. This system provides the tracking of the logging activities from planning until the export of such a roundwood. It provides us transparency, but also gives us the opportunity to minimize illegal logging. We have the satellite land monitoring system. Within the system, we use GIS for generating national data as it comes to the changes in our forest cover. The near real-time monitoring we use to, to identify illegal logging based on analyzing satellite images and reporting these alerts to the department that will take the reinforcement in the fields. We have the National Forest Inventory. That's the inventory that is needed to have an indication of the carbon stock of our forest. We do want to have the community-based monitoring in place. There are some communities already working with us as it comes to the fact that they are locally, they know better what is happening nearby their community and can also provide us that information. And then at last, we have the reporting part. All the data that is generated within the National Forest Monitoring System is reported in a consistently manner, a transparent manner to different organizations, such as ABS and the UNFCCC. So the NFMS provides transparent, up-to-date data. It is an instrument that can be used for sustainable forest management, but also it can be used for the RED Plus mechanism and the Article 6, which is now the mechanism they all are talking about as it comes to offsetting carbon credits. I will focus on those two components of the National Forest Monitoring System that is important to have the carbon credit offsetting under the Paris Agreement. And that is National Forest Inventory As I say, these are the field measurements that are being executed in the field. We have tried to have a national forest inventory for Suriname to be able to have a better estimate of the carbon stock of the forest. Unfortunately, we only have individual national forest inventory that we have gathered together to make an estimate of the carbon stock of Suriname. There are several reasons why we don't have a national forest inventory. I think all of you know the challenge we are facing as a developing country. We don't have the resources, the finances, the human resource is very difficult also to access the remote areas of Suriname. But still, I think you guys all know the reclame. Stilstaan is geen optie. So we are trying with what we have to still gather the information in order to collaborate with regional organizations, different organizations that have funding available in order to still have some data for Suriname. So in that case, we work together with the UNDP, but also with other stakeholders, such as SALOS, where we have done the inventory within the mangroves areas. Here, just the idea or an overview of where the plots are in the mangroves, and that there are also field challenges there when it comes to measuring the different parameters within the mangroves. So another thing that's important, we are trying also to keep up with the technology. So in the case of National Forest Inventory, we also use LiDAR sensor. So here are some pictures of the LiDAR sensor we use to analyze within GIS in order to easily capture the parameters that we need from the mangroves. For example, the tree heights, the dikte van een boomstronk, etc., etc. So the next component is the satellite land monitoring system. This is a system that uses mostly the GIS technology. So for that, we have created several maps. Maybe also important to look back from where we come. So 10 years before, we didn't have the monitoring unit in place, monitoring the forest cover within Suriname. So we started from scratch, right? With regional collaboration, we built some capacity, and we started with simple maps such as the deforestation map. Nowadays, we're producing the deforestation map on a yearly basis. Of course, you can see the location and also extract the area of deforestation. Furthermore, you can also see the trend of deforestation, how it behaves, etc., etc. But it's also important to know what is the drivers of deforestation. Therefore, we produce 2 yearly the drivers of deforestation map, where we can see where or what the driver is of these specific deforested areas. And then you can see that, for example, here, the biggest driver is gold mining that changed the forest within Suriname. The second driver is infrastructure that leads to the gold mining activities, but also to the logging activities. And then we have the national land use land cover data that provides the data of the different land uses in Suriname that is produced every 5 years. This is a wall-to-wall monitoring that is very, time-consuming to produce this map. So we also try to look at other methodologies, such as the systematic sampling methodologies. Here we analyze with the GIS 26,000 samples who can provide us the information of the land uses within Suriname. And again, we don't do this alone. Some of you are here in the audience that have contributed to this process, where we try to build capacity, not only within our institute, but also the other stakeholders, such as SALOS. We have also NMA participants from NMA, LFFA, and others. So together, we produce the national data for Suriname, which is important to to provide us the ability to how do you say, to meedingan aan the international requirements as it comes to carbon credits. Okay, nice. Besides the maps, we have the statistics, the data that is available. I have some time, 5 minutes. Okay, nice. I think you all know that the data is freely available online. We have the geographical platform, which is Gonini, and the copy website with the statistics that can be freely accessible with linkages to several reports. Okay, great. These are the platforms. I already mentioned them. The platforms we try to align with international requirements such as the IPCC guidelines, which has the tech principles. It should be transparent, accurate, complete, comparable, and consistent. So we take these requirements, these international requirements, to align our national data. Good. A little bit about the RED Plus process. Starting from having nothing, creating capacity, being able to produce data, being able to use these data for reporting, we are able to also participate in the RED Plus mechanism and even in the carbon offsetting under Article 6 of the Paris Agreement. What's all that? Well, in simple terms, we can use this possibility to have those incentives, to use these sources, these financial sources, to reinvest in sustainable development of Suriname in order to reduce emission and to, how do you say this, use it to fight against climate change. That's it in simple words. Only just a brief overview. This is the process we have gone through as it comes to having the RED Plus credits in place. So it is a very long journey, as you can see here. Even before 2018, we have started with building capacity on what it is about, what RED Plus is, and what do you need to have in place, etc., etc. We submit the different reports that is needed. The different reports are being reviewed by international experts and having those recommendations in order for us to improve our methodology. And as you may know, already heard about ITMOs. We do have some ITMOs for the year 2021. That is a total of 4.8 million tons carbon dioxide, which we can offset to receive those incentives. Again, this is the process that Suriname needs to go through. It's a very, how do you say, intensified process with little human resources we have. And the challenges I already shared with you guys, we still try to achieve those goals we have for Suriname in a way as to collaborate not only nationally but also internationally. So as I mentioned, the reports that have been submitted to the UNFCCC is being verified. And we are now in the process of offsetting the carbon credits under Article 6.2, which also have a whole process that we need to go through. And we are now in the process of reviewing our initial report that's talk about the carbon credits, what are you going to do with the incentive, what is your greenhouse gas inventory of your country, et cetera, et cetera. Great. Just in a in an overview, in a nutshell, the use of GIS, that's very important. Also for monitoring within the forestry sector. Here are some reasons why that is important. It can be used for the modeling, training, building capacity of other stakeholders through training, the production of spatially explicit data, which is important as you want to show what is happening in your country and what those activities contributes to the emission carbon dioxide emissions, et cetera, et cetera. What's very important is the collaborative manner that we can use the GIS in order to produce national data. And I think that's very interesting, the GeoWeb platform that, if I have seen, it will be freely available. I would like to take that challenge, and we can look how we can collaborate and have that system being fed with the national data. Again, we are not doing that by ourselves. We're doing that with the support of stakeholders. Some of those are sitting here in the audience. Very shout out to them. Very much thankful for their continuous collaboration within the process of SBB. Thank you.